Welcome to our video on factoring expressions. In this video we're going to combine what you know about the distributive property and greatest common factor to learn a new idea. So very quickly let's think back to what we know about the distributive property, and what happens with this is in order to simplify an expression with parentheses, I take the number that's outside of the parentheses and I multiply it by both terms inside. So the expression 4 times the quantity x plus 9 would simplify to 4 times x, which is 4x, plus 4 times 9, which is 36. In our second example, I would take the 3 and I'd multiply it by the y, and then I'd multiply it by the 5. And my new simplified expression, 3 times y would give me 3y, and 3 times 5 would give me 15. When we factor expressions, we're actually going to be doing the opposite of the distributive property. So instead of you getting this expression with the parentheses and simplifying it to eliminate those parentheses, I'm now going to give you the simplified expression and ask you to factor it, or to undo the distributive property and get back this original version. So here's how it works. We're going to use the cake method that we used with our GCF. So I'm going to put my whole expression, 5x plus 40, in the top of a cake. And I'm going to treat those as two separate terms that I'm finding the GCF of. So 5x and 40, I know that I get to ignore the variable for a second. The 5 and the 40 can both be divided by 5. If I divide 5x out of 5, if I divide 5 out of 5x, I'm left with x. And if I divide 5 out of 40, I'm left with 8. I'll add another layer of the cake. And x and 8 don't have anything in common. So here's what happens. This number off to the side here becomes the number that's outside of the parenthesis. The terms that are the bottom layer of your cake, the x and the 8, that can no longer be simplified, go into the parentheses. And you keep whatever sign there was. So what I'm saying is the simplified expression 5x plus 40 is equivalent to this expression right here. And I can prove that because if I do the distributive property on here, 5 times x would give me 5x. 5 times 8 would give me the 40. So again, your factored expression is the expression that has the parentheses. Let's try another one. 12y minus 18. I'll draw my cake. I know that a common factor from 12y and 18 would be 6. 12y divided by 6 gives me 2y. 18 divided by 6 gives me 3. I'm going to add another layer to the cake. Now a 2y and a 3 do not have anything in common. So again, the number that is off to the side, which in this case is the 6, becomes the number outside of the parentheses. The terms left at the bottom of the cake, the 2y plus 3, are the terms inside the parentheses, and I keep whatever sign I had. So 6 times the quantity 2y minus 3 is the factored version of 12y minus 18. I check my work with the distributive property. 6 times 2y is 12y. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. And since I got my original expression back, I know that I did it correctly. Let's look at a couple more. 18a plus 54. I put it into the cake. I know that 18 can be divided out of both of these terms. 18a divided by 18 leaves me with an a. 54 divided by 18 leaves me with 3. Add another layer to the cake. A and 3 do not have anything in common, so I stop. The number on the side is the factor that we pulled out. That stays outside the parentheses. The terms on the bottom layer of our cake go inside the parentheses. And I keep the operational symbol from my original expression. So this one would become 18 times the quantity A plus 3. My last example, 4x minus 6, I draw the cake. I know that 4x and 6 can both be divided by 2. 4x divided by 2 is 2x. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Add another layer to the cake. 2x and 3 don't have any common factors, so I take the common factor, which is off on the side. It stays on the side of the parenthesis, and then that bottom layer goes inside the parenthesis, 2x and 3, and I keep the minus sign from the original. And again, I can always check my work. If I distribute 2 times 2x, that gives me 4x. 2 times negative 3, that gives me negative 6. Please pause the video and try these couple, and then press play when you're ready to check your work. Alright, for number 1, you should have 3 times the quantity, 2x minus 3. If I check my work and I distribute, that will get me 6x minus 9. Number 2, you should have 3 times the quantity, b plus 6. Number 3, 4 times the quantity, x minus 6. And number 4, 3 times the quantity, 3x plus 4. Good job.